Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Off My Chest, and it's by user Robbie Rod. 10 years ago, my girlfriend abandoned me and our 5-year-old daughter. Now she wants her family back. My story begins 16 years ago when I met Lucy. She was an amazing girl, intelligent, beautiful, fancy, funny, just the greatest girl I ever met. I felt so lucky when we started dating, and after a year into the relationship, we had a baby. I was living the dream, living with my girlfriend, raising our little daughter, and being a happy family. I loved Lucy so much, and after some years, we were finally getting married. Our daughter was the most excited about the wedding. She was going to be the flower girl. Everything seemed to be perfect. Until one day, when I was heading back home, a guy wanted to talk to me. At first, I believed he may want to sell me something, but then he mentioned Lucy. Politely, he asked me to talk in a private place. He then asked me to please stop everything about the wedding and step back, because he and Lucy wanted to be together. I didn't believe him, and then he started to tell me a lot of details about her that would be impossible to know. I returned home as fast as I could. I didn't want this to be true and told her about it, hoping all was a mistake. But no, it wasn't. The next hour, she told me everything. She has been cheating on me for the last 2 years. She told me about how all the times she said she loved me, that she wanted us to be together, and that she loved our family were all lies. How her new man was so much better than me in so many different ways. Younger, stronger, handsome, and a better lover. She said that she didn't want to be tied to me. How she lost her freedom for being a mother and she didn't want to be a wife. That she wanted her freedom back. The final stab was when she said she was happy that I finally knew and now she was able to leave. I cried, begged, humiliated myself and got on my knees asking for another chance to try to fix our relationship, but she didn't want to. She wanted the thrill and excitement that this new guy made her feel, and the next day she left us. I felt broken, humiliated and emasculated, but my daughter needed me. She was heartbroken. Her mother left and she believed it was her fault. She heard when Lucy said she didn't want to be a mother anymore. She needed me and I needed to be strong for her. Fortunately, we had help. My family and Lucy's family supported us in any way possible. Her parents were so ashamed of their daughter's actions that they couldn't look me in the face without apologizing for everything she did. I will be in debt to everyone forever for all their help. So fast forward 10 years later. After lots of time and therapy, my daughter and I are living happily. She is the light of my life, a beautiful 15-year-old lady who I love. Our wounds are healed and we have a very good life. And then she came back. When my daughter and I were getting back home, we found Lucy in front of our apartment waiting for us, wanting to talk. I recognized her immediately, and I would like to say I did something cool like ignoring her, asking her to leave, or at least being hostile with her, but no, I'm an idiot. My heart skipped a beat the moment I saw her. She still was beautiful as before, but somehow she looked even better. Maybe her age made her look mature and elegant. Maybe the dress or the makeup, I don't know, but I let her in. While our daughter gave us some space and went to her room. She told me everything she did since she left. Basically, she lived with that guy for some years. She said how much she enjoyed it, all the fun she got, and how she believed those were the best years of her life until she noticed that the excitement of that new relationship was fading slowly. At some point, she started to cheat on that guy too. According to her, she wanted to feel alive and excited. Eventually, the relationship ended and she started dating other guys. Every relationship became shorter than the previous one until she only had casual hookups. She also said that sometimes she thought about us, our family, but she said she was too proud to admit she made a mistake. Until last year. She got COVID and it hit her really hard, to the point that she believed she would die and realized how alone she was, how stupid she was, and the mistake she made so long ago. After all of that, she said she regretted everything she did and said, and now she was ready to marry me and be the family we were always meant to be. When she was done, I asked her to leave, to give me some time to think. She accepted, saying she would be back the next day. For years, I dreamed about her coming back and now it was happening, but it just felt wrong. Since then, she visits almost daily, wanting to talk about the past years of our relationship and how we could be a happy family again. I asked for help from my family and friends because she ghosted everyone when she left. Her parents were always on my side and both are amazing grandparents. When they knew she was back, her mother didn't want to see her and her father told her, with lots of details, how she is a shame for all of us and the disappointment she ended up being. So most of them, the people I asked, said I would be making the worst mistake of my life if I take her back. Others said that I could give her a chance. It took me a lot to heal and some more time to start making new relationships, and I would be risking everything. One night, my daughter and I had a deep conversation about all of this. I always try to involve her in every part of our life, and this issue concerned her too because it's her mother. Sometimes she surprises me by being so wise and mature because she told me, "Can you really love someone that hurt us so much?" And that was everything I needed. I would never forgive myself if I let her hurt my daughter again, and I said that to Lucy. If she wants to be around or have a relationship with our daughter, I'm okay with it, only if my daughter wants it. But I told her we are not getting back together. Lucy only said that she would make me fall in love with her again and that she would not give up. Wow, OP, Lucy is toxic. I am so sorry that you and your daughter both had to go through all of that crap. Now, I know you didn't ask for an opinion, but I'm gonna give you my 2 cents anyways. You are doing a great job standing up for yourself, but you're only halfway there. You need to totally eradicate Lucy from your life, and your daughter gets to decide if she wants to do the same or not. It's great that you told her that you're not getting back together, and the reason for it, to protect your daughter, is also a fantastic one, but you need to protect yourself as well. But you can't have her hanging around and having her try to make you fall in love with her again. She already cheated on you, and she left you guys both, and for 10 years she was having the best years of her life. She even cheated on the guy she cheated on you with, and then having COVID changed her mind and now she wants you guys back? I don't know. I don't think I could personally believe all that stuff. And what about you guys? What would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. The Little Mermaid says, "This is not okay. You need to have more respect for yourself and your daughter. She abandoned you both for 10 years without a shred of remorse. Only when she felt alone did she come back. Not because she loves you two, but in selfishness to not be lonely. All of her actions are done to benefit her and her alone. She cheats on every partner she has. Even when you told her you do not want to be with her anymore, she dismissed your wishes and feelings and said she will essentially force her way back into your heart and life. This will not end well for you. This woman is vile and you need to protect yourself and your daughter. Do you not think that the second she gets bored and craves excitement again, she will hurt you both all over? Do not let her undo the years of progress you two have made. You need to be stronger than this." Arthur Chase 74 says, "I'm not a psychologist, but I'm going to be an armchair psychologist for a second. Your ex sounds like she has a personality disorder, specifically borderline personality disorder. Look it up. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The entire time I read your comment, I was thinking, brother, your ex has borderline personality." Tip: don't subject your daughter or yourself to your ex. It will not end well. The greatest predictor of future behavior is her previous behavior. Here you are, steady Eddie. You took care of your daughter, built a family, stabilized her life. Here she is, repeatedly in unstable relationships, unable to connect, an empty shell of a human being. Do not, for your sake or your daughter's sake, do not get involved with a person who has a history of regularly cheating, risky behavior, and is this unstable. Ube1 Kenobi says, "Man, she bragged to you and your daughter about the best years of her life? Listen to your daughter. She went through trauma when she was little, and yeah, protect her at all costs. She sounds wise and beyond her years. Listen to the majority of your friends and family. They saw what you went through and they don't want you to deal with that again. Lucy can go get her freedom. She made a choice and she needs to deal with the consequences." And furthermore, she even said that when the thrill was gone with the first person, she left him for the guy she cheated on him with. Who's to say she won't do that to you again? She's only going to you for stability and a roof over her head. Do not go back. Well, the community agrees that OP shouldn't let her back and he needs to cut her loose for the sake of himself and his daughter, of course. So let's move on to the update to see what OP did and how the story ends, but right before that, I'm gonna show you another playlist like this one that's got only videos with updates on them. Now let's move on to the update. I didn't expect so many answers, so thanks to everyone for your answers and advice. Thanks to the ones who made me open my eyes and helped me to realize I still have issues with my ex and I'm not over with her and over all of it. To the ones who pointed out the risk of hurting my daughter by letting her back in our lives, I can recognize my weakness, but I'm not letting her hurt my baby again, so don't worry, I'm not getting back together with her. Since my last post a week ago, she has been insisting on a meeting. She wanted to talk. I decided to have one last talk with her and set my boundaries. We met in a public place. The talk was long and hard. I wanted her to be honest, and I told her, the moment I caught her in a lie, I was leaving. I asked if she was really sorry, or are we her last option? Did she really love us, or are we just a consolation prize? Did she come back for love, or because she was unable to find another man anymore? She was unable to answer any of that. She only said things like, "It's not like that, you need to understand me, and I'm not like this anymore." She kept insisting on giving her another chance, that we can love each other again and that we could be together. She never even mentioned our daughter at any moment, only after I pointed it out. Then she started to mention her. When I tried to settle that we were over, she grabbed my hand and, as some of you told me she would, she tried to seduce me and said we can find a room so I can do whatever I wanted with her, that she wouldn't say no to anything, to compensate me. I didn't recognize that woman. She wasn't the amazing girl I met. She wasn't the mother of my daughter. I didn't know who that woman was, but she wasn't my Lucy. I told her to let me go, that we were over. Neither I nor my daughter wanted anything to do with her, so please leave us alone. We were living a good life without her. She then went mad, saying I couldn't leave her, that it wasn't my choice and that she doesn't have anything else. That I can't take away her daughter. I still don't know why, but that last sentence triggered me. The next are not my exact words, but are close to what I said at that moment. Your daughter? Your daughter? You are not the mother. You only gave birth to her, but you are not her mother. Tell me, where were you when she was sick? Where were you when she had a fever? When she was scared during the night? When did her first teeth fall? How about how she cried at night because she missed her mom? Where were you on her first day of school? Or when she had her first period? When she had her first boyfriend? When she got her heart broken for the second time because the first one who broke her heart was her mother? Which penis were you riding when she needed a mom? You have no right to claim you are her mother because you never acted like that. She tried to reply, but I saw how she was unable to find the words. I left her and went back home. She sent me some texts asking for another meeting, for another chance, that she loves me and she can change, but I'm done. You all were right. She doesn't love me or our daughter at all. She only loves herself. Having her in our life would be bad, toxic. I don't need that. I don't need her. My daughter and I are going back to therapy soon. Some of you were right. I need to work on myself, be stronger, and get over those feelings for her, because they're not real, just a memory of who I thought she was. Good job, OP. You got closure. Not because she's gonna stop bothering you, but because you were able to tell her everything you were feeling and you got that off your chest. That was fantastic, and I think it's gonna work great for you now that you're gonna work on getting over all those feelings. So, congratulations again, OP. Thank you so much for sharing, and all the best to you and your daughter in the future. Take care. And now, let's move on to the mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user egrant03. Can't remove the charge? Well, I'll just use it then. In the early 2000s, when I first moved out on my own, I rented from a complex that charged you for assigned parking. It was an upcharge of $25 a month. If you didn't get assigned parking, you would have to fight for a space on the street. My apartment was in the back of the complex and I was getting over a recent knee and ankle injury, so I opted for paid parking that was relatively close to my front door. My car was a junker, 3 years older than I am, but it ran semi-okay and the heater worked. As a newly minted adult, I was happy to have it. About 3 months into my lease, my car went to the great scrap heap in the sky. I had gotten used to the local transit system and discovered a nearby store that would drop off groceries for me. This was long before Walmart and other stores started doing it, so it was cheaper than figuring out a month's supply on the bus. So I opted not to replace the car and utilize the bus pass my work reimbursed me for. I went to my leasing office and told them I no longer needed the space and would you please remove the extra charge from my bill. The manager at the desk was new and had never been asked that before. She promised to look into it and let me know. I was naive and figured it would be gone come the next month. Nope, it was still there. I paid all but the parking space and called up the complex. Same girl. She said she was awaiting word from higher ups and offered me a credit for the charge as a one-time courtesy. I reminded her that I no longer owned a car. I hadn't just changed my mind. I told her that the space had been empty for close to a month now and that I won't be utilizing it. She said she understood loud and clear and would get it sorted by next month. Then, 3 days before rent was due, she finally got back to me. Apparently, it was in my lease and couldn't be removed without breaking the lease and signing a new one. Even if I didn't move out, the lease breaking and initiation fees would be charged to me, and my rent would go up to the new current market value. This would be over $1,000, so not an option for someone freshly on their own, so I kept the parking space on the lease. 3 weeks later, I was reviewing my lease to get the phone number for maintenance and noticed the clause for the parking space. Essentially, I could park a motorcycle, scooter such as Vespa, car, truck, SUV, or trailer in the space. Gears were turning. For me to be in compliance, I had to have wheels on anything parked in my space. So I went to my local version of Craigslist and found a wheeled container similar to a shipping container. It wasn't cheap, but it was worth every cent. The complex offered storage sheds at an upcharge too. Being fresh out of high school, I didn't have much to store. My neighbor though, did. I threw a lock on the unit and offered it to my neighbor for half the cost of a shed, $35 a month. He was able to move his stuff out of his storage unit where he was paying over $100 a month and the container was available 24/7, 365. He was happy with the arrangement and paid several months in advance. The complex put several tow stickers for out of compliance on the trailer, but I called the tow company and faxed them a copy of the lease where it says trailers are allowed. The container was registered with the county as a utility trailer, so there's nothing they could do. They tried to fine me for improper parking, but again, I had proof I was within my rights. They even offered to remove the charge for parking on my lease if I would relocate the container. With what my neighbor was paying, I could cover my water bill every month, so I declined. I stayed 18 months and sold the trailer to my neighbor when I moved out. He had to rent a car to relocate it to his assigned space, but he said it was worth the couple hundred he paid. He ended up saving over $1,000 a year renting from me. Other neighbors even started bringing in their own containers too, even if it meant getting a second space. Sheds were being vacated at such a large volume, the complex tried to give them away for 6 months free of charge. A few of them took him up on it. The complex amended the new leases to exclude trailers, but could do nothing about those that already had them on the spot. Instead of moving out and giving notice, renters would reassign their lease to new people so they could be grandfathered into the trailer clause. I drove by the facility 2 years or so after I moved out, going to a friend's for Thanksgiving. The complex had been sold to a new owner and changed their name, but wouldn't you know it, there were still about a dozen wheeled shipping containers parked in the lot. Wow, OP, that was a fantastic malicious compliance. Not only did you get the best of your lease, but your neighbor was also benefited from your idea. Thank you so much for sharing, OP, this was great. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.